You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a capsule.
They're mad cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause you wanna be you. They're mad cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause you
Welcome back to the Hood Motivator Podcast, where we hustle, motivate, and inspire. And we got a good guest today. We got an awesome guest today, Miss Toni Scott, a real estate agent. Can you tell the world who you are?
Yes, absolutely. My name is Toni Scott. I go by Toni. I am a woman of God, a mother of two, and a realtor in the Tampa Bay area.
Where you from?
I'm from here. I grew up in Vero Beach, between Vero Beach, Florida, and Okeechobee.
Okay.
But my family and everyone, they're all from here.
Okay. And what's your nationality?
I'm black.
You okay? I like
Black
that.
and
Look at you. Come on, man. Look at you coming out. You showing out.
What?
Yeah, I see you.
Black and proud.
I'm happy that we got a chance to even get together. You know, we've been crossing paths for a long time, and we know some of the same people, mutual people. And I see that you know what I'm saying, you ventured off in your new businesses and stuff like that. So I wanted to get you on here so you could tell your story or how you got here. Not what
Absolutely.
you're doing now, how you got here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Like, so how was you as a little kid growing up?
So I've gone through definitely some seasons of uncertainty. I didn't come from I don't want to say I didn't come from poverty, but I didn't come from wealth. So we had the latest of everything, but I didn't have any real structure. I didn't have real estate knowledge. I didn't have any real guidance. But I feel like God has me in this season right now to break off some of the generational curses that I feel has plagued my family. And so I had a real desire to step into the real estate world. So for me, this is just one stepping stone to be the one to break off the strongholds in my family.
Okay. And why do you feel that real estate is that? What was you doing before real estate?
My background is healthcare, but all around me, there's not a lot of homeowners in my family.
Okay.
There's not a lot of people in my family. They struggle with, managing their money wisely and just poverty mindsets. And so I really feel like that I am the one that's going to break off a lot of those, like I said, the generational curses that have plagued my family. And it's something that I'm constantly praying to God on. I'm constantly seeking his face on, and I've just been praying on it. And I feel like I got the confirmation that I needed from God to step into this field.
I love that. I love the fact that that's what I try to tell people about, is like transitioning and understanding who you are. We have our eyes set on one thing as kids growing up, or I want to do that, or fixated, I want to do this, or I want to gravitate, or, this society is a bunch of followers.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to do what the next person is doing. So I always wanted to understand and get into that diaphragm of, hey, like, what made you choose that? Because it looks good on you, first of all. I wouldn't want to interview you or I'm inspired. I see what you got going on, and you took off like a rocket ship. Your content, your social media, everything that you got going on, and that's what I told you earlier. One like or no likes, your impact is touching. People see it, and the very thing about social media is they might not like it, but they see it, and it's crazy because it'll mess you up. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like, I just saw 100 people on my story. Why you won't like?
What's going on?
Right?
What's going on? And that's literally that's what I've been seeing now that I'm actively posting and engaging on social media. I see all of the views and no likes or comments. And so I love what we talked about earlier. I needed that so much because you just reminded me that just keep showing up and just being consistent, because it's all going to pay out.
Right.
Because at first I was a little bit discouraged, just seeing so many views and not the comments and the likes.
And that's why I try to, even at me at my level, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna drop a fire or to let you know I'm here. I feel that, you know what I'm saying? Or I share your story. So I share it into my world so people could go to your world and see that. Because I don't mind. You know what's crazy is sometimes some big influencers charge for that. And I'm like, I don't care. Let me do it. Let me help you. Let me hook you up.
Yeah, I really
got
appreciate
you.
that.
Let me put you in position, because when you get to that next step on the ladder, maybe you can pull me up too. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that even more now.
Yeah, see?
Sincerely, truly.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And it's not because it's premeditated. It's something that I don't mind doing because I love to help people, and I love to help the people that like sometimes that you know what I'm saying, you would jump into my algorithm or my DM, and you would send me something encouraging. And I'm like, that's dope that you see that, because a lot of people, they won't even take the chance to even encourage somebody that's where I'm at right now. They just, they might like it, or they might just look at it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm inspired by everything that you got going on. So can you tell me about your journey getting to real estate, what you was doing in the medical field? Did you like helping people, serving people? Are you a servant?
I'm definitely a servant. I really, truly feel like I am. But healthcare specifically wasn't where I was led to. It just, I felt very, I don't want to say, I felt depressed in that field. I felt unhappy. It just wasn't for me. And at first, like, I'm in school now, I'm pursuing my bachelor's in business. And when I first started going to school, I wanted to go for nursing. You know, I dreamed of being a nurse, you know, just going into healthcare because that's what I saw around me. But when I went into the healthcare field, it just didn't touch me the way that it should happen. You know, when you're going to work every single day, you should be doing something that you love doing.
Right.
And I wasn't in that space.
Right.
And so I originally got my license in 2022. I was a little bit discouraged when I first started off. You get your license, you go through the class and everything, but they don't teach you how you're really gonna get the clients, what really goes on when you're out here in the field. So I just didn't do anything with my license. And then fast forward, I had my daughter in 2023. So I just kind of put a hold off on it. And then I met my mentor, Tangi, the end of last year, and she's just been pouring into me. I'm just so grateful for her.
That's dope.
So she's what motivated me to go all in the end of February.
Shout out to Tangi.
Yeah, I love her.
Shout out to, that's your camera right there. Tell her shout out
I
to.
love you so much.
Yeah.
She knows I tell her all the time, girl, I got you.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm definitely grateful for her for just pouring into me, because they don't tell you anything, honestly. You know,
you just hop into it. I know that it's very strenuous too, as you know, real estate agents. I know a lot of real estate agents that they got their license, but they had never sold a house, right? So it's like, you know, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So, and consistency is one thing that you got to stick with. You know, even if you keep throwing something's going to come back, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think there's a bad misconception about realtors.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel as though the realtor is just out to get them. You know, like it's just, we're here just to get a sale or something just for a personal gain or benefit.
Right.
And I want people to feel when they're working with me that I'm actually here because I genuinely care about their homeownership journey. You know, I want them to know that I'm here to guide them. I'm here to walk with them. And I'm here to pray with them if need be. It's all faith-led. You know, God is leading me. And I just have been focused on, like I told you earlier, I wanted what I've been posting to be authentic to who I am. So
it's definitely authentic, and I love that you're a woman of God, because I'm definitely, you know what I'm saying, I'm a believer. I love God. I wouldn't be here without it. I'm a preacher's kid, but I hit a lot of turbulence, you know what I'm saying, coming from where I came from, and you know what I'm saying, sometimes I share my story, sometimes I don't, and I want people to understand that your story is your story, so that's your testimony, and you know, it's a lot of people out here that play Jesus, that play with Christianity, that play with religion, and that play with, I'm going to go Saturday night, Thursday, doing all this type of stuff, but you in church on Sunday. I get it. But then sometimes, you know, looking at it is like, are you authentic? That goes back to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm JR, but I'm not going to play with it. You feel me?
Absolutely.
I'm not in church every Sunday, but I'm in church with my heart.
Absolutely.
I know what's going on with life. I know that if I make a mistake, I'm going to repent. I know that, hey, God, I'm praying to you. This is what it is. I know the instructions. That's how my dad raised me. But I'm not out here being holier than thou.
Absolutely. That's so good. And I love that you just touched base on that, because I also know as a newer follower of Christ, I would say I gave my life fully to Christ about 2 years ago.
I love that.
And I know going into it, there was this huge misconception that I had to be perfect. So a big reason why it took me so long to get here is because I wasn't there yet. You know, and I know that a lot of people, you know, because of the Christians that they've encountered who focus on their sin versus them as a person and their relationship with God above all. Right. I know that's what deters them from following Christ fully.
Right.
What is your take on that?
It is. Like I said, a lot of people out here they wear that cloak that they're super Christian. You know what I'm saying? And if you really watch their life, they're really not who they really say they are. So I'm really big on watching you and observing. And I ain't going to confront you. I'm not going to say anything. I just won't listen to you anymore. I turn you off. You walk, because that's what the world is built off of. It's a lot of followers. Right now, Christianity is booming at the highest level because we got the Christian hip hop. We got all these things going on. And now everybody, like, but where was you at when we needed you, right? So I grew up in a church. I just, you know what I'm saying, backslid a few times because, you know what I'm saying, going through life and being distracted by all these things. But God was like, I don't need you perfect.
Absolutely.
I need you who you are, right?
Absolutely.
You from Long Beach, right? Your mother died of AIDS, right?
Yeah.
You went to war, right? You did all these things. You struggle with all these things. I still can use you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be perfect. And then if you do happen to make a mistake, it's like that, okay, own it. That's all you have to do is own. You don't have to go out there and down across it. God did that for us. He died for us.
Yes, he did.
We don't have to tell everybody that's what's crazy about life is when you make a mistake, they're gonna plaster it on social media. And they're going to crucify you. And that can help. That hurts your mental. Nobody talks about that.
Absolutely. And I will say, so, when you're a Christian, of course, they hold us to a higher standard. But we know that we're not perfect. Yeah. But now that I'm fully walking this walk with God and my family and friends know that if I do one little thing, oh, that's not godly. That's not Christ-like.
Right.
And I'm like, Jesus knows. I'm taking it to God. I have repented.
Right.
It's okay. We can make mistakes.
Right, but stop following me around doing that to me. What you doing? Are you walking closer or are you getting further? What you got?
Hello. You're going to pimp. Because I said a little curse word?
Yeah, come on.
Because I yelled a little bit.
We're human.
Absolutely.
Right. When I was coming up and my dad had first got saved in the 80s, it was very strict on the women in church. You got to wear dresses down to your knee. It was crazy how church was. But now, crossover, like it showed me that you can come as you are. Shout out to Pastor Tommy. I was going there for probably a few years, and I live far, so sometimes I don't go. But crossover is always in my heart. Pastor Tommy is my guy. He's a stand-up guy. I love everything that he has going on there. But sometimes you do have to take a step back and understand that if you believe something, it's in your heart. You don't need to be around a bunch of people to prove that you're a believer of anything.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't need to join no tribe or that. This is who I am.
Absolutely.
You see me when you see me, and you know that I'm radiate that, and that's my energy levels. Can you tell me about that?
So that reminds me of something that I pray daily. One of the things that I'm constantly praying to God is that when people encounter me, that they encounter Jesus. And I just want to be the vessel. God, use me however you seem fit. That's something I'm always praying. I want people, like I said, I just want them to encounter Jesus. So if anything, quoting the Bible, if anything is not acceptable or pleasing in your sight, Lord, remove it. So that's really how I try to live my life. And it's not always perfect,
right.
And thank God Jesus died on the cross for us. We have been redeemed and restored. So I don't have to hold that burden.
Right.
At first, my past, everything that I did that was wrong, it used to weigh on me heavy until I fully accepted the fact that Jesus literally died for me.
Right.
Right.
And everybody has a past. So I wouldn't let them certain people judge you. I got some questions for you. Let's get into it.
Okay.
It's a capsule.
They're mad 'cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad 'cause you wanna be you.
Hold on. You talk a lot about helping women and walking into ownership with confidence and clarity. Why is it that so important to you, and how does that business reflect your mission?
Oh, how does that reflect my mission? So for me, buying a home in general, to me, it's more than just buying a piece of property. Home ownership is our God-given assignment. And I want women and families in general to be able to walk boldly in that. I want them to know that this is just the start. It's about laying the foundation, breaking generational curses and cycles and just gaining overall peace and control, overall. And for me, I feel like I reflect that well because I've been there. Right. I've been that, woman who, and still to this day, I crave peace. I crave security and just safety, not only for myself, but my children. So I'm right here with them walking it out.
I love that about you too, because I see that you got the babies at church. I see that you're just radiant with it, and that's how it's supposed to be, and it looks good on you. Like I would tell you, I grew up in the church. I grew up in the church, so I'll tell you what you're doing.
Yeah.
Are you playing with it or what? You know what I'm saying? But you really doing what you got to do.
Oh my gosh,
seriously.
I appreciate you. Seriously, I really do.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying, and I will say I do feel as though my children. Well, my son, because my daughter's still young, but he's definitely a reflection of the values that I'm putting into him and just what I'm just trying to train him up in God's image.
That's good. And I know I had an interview one of your friends about a year ago, Brittany.
Mm-hmm, my cousin.
Yeah, that's your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a year ago, you know what I'm saying? And I know that you guys were both at Crossover together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you guys still there?
So she doesn't go to Crossover, and Crossover, I still see that as my home church. Yes. But I have been going to a church a little bit closer to me.
Where you live at?
I live in Clearwater.
Okay, Clearwater.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been going to. It was just a lot with my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, having 2 kids now.
Right.
It was a lot just having to get up so early to get there. So I just been going to Countryside Christian Center.
Okay.
On McMullen Booth.
How you like that?
I like it.
Yes, good.
I really do love it. I want to find Crossover is home.
Yes.
I want to find something that feels more. I love worship. Okay,
yeah.
As long as I have a good worship, I'm good to go. To be honest.
Yeah, heck yeah. You love music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what?
Hype me up.
Yeah. Yes.
Hype me up. Let me know why we here. You know what I'm saying?
Hello. I can worship for a very long time. I love me a good worship.
I love that too.
Do you go to church in where you're at now?
No.
Okay.
I'm very stingy on what churches I take myself into, right? So it was very hard for me to even join Crossover because my dad's a bishop. My dad has his own church. So for years,
where's he at?
My dad's in California.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm not joining no other church. I got a church at home. But, my dad spoke to me and said, you can, right? So, I joined Crossover. That's home. That's always home.
Yeah,
but sometimes
absolutely.
I can't drive that drive there and then drive back. So, and that's excuse. And I'm sorry for making that excuse on the air. That's a very big excuse that I shouldn't make. But I love, like I said, I love Crossover. I tune in on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I'm supposed to see Pastor Tommy very soon. But, that is home. But when I'm in Venice, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I take my times off.
God is going to come
whenever,
in the room.
Every day.
He going to come wherever. We don't have to be in the church building for God's presence to be felt.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I stand at with that, because I believe that that's my pinnacle, that's my North Star, that's what I have. Even as a black man, I want to let people know that I thank God every day for just breathing,
I love
being
that.
here. You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm
love
never
your
ashamed of
messages.
it. I'm never ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Never. You know what I'm saying?
You make that clear.
I try to tell them, you know what I'm saying? Even if it looks like, look how I look. But I'm going to tell you, don't play with it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't play with God.
Don't play with it. Hey, you out there. That's how
I love your messages, though, because there's not a lot of men that are just speaking to, the real things that are going on. And I feel like a lot of men need to hear this from another man.
Right.
And someone who looks like you, a black man.
Right.
So I love your messages so much.
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm always sending them to the men in my family.
Definitely.
They don't listen.
They don't listen.
But they need to hear it. I love your messages.
Keep sharing them. That's my impact right there, is make sure that I'm touching somebody every day, making sure that people understand. And I get so many DMs and so many compliments, and that's what it's all about for me. And I don't care if you like it. Share it, tell somebody, regurgitate it, understand it, believe it, because it's coming from my heart. That was my therapy. I had to speak life back into myself when I hit bankrupt. I went bankrupt in COVID, and almost took my life for the 4th time. And I had to understand, like, God, why am I here? I'm suffering with PTSD, TBI, military. I'm dealing with all these things. Like, this just can't be it, right? And I'm not married. I got my kids. I'm struggling with relationships. It's like, God, what is it? And God was like, all right, you went a long way. You did really good. Now, come back and go this way. And then start talking life into yourself. So I started to talk to myself, and Pastor Tommy was like, now put it on camera. So I put it on camera, and it took off 2 years ago. And
wow.
About 3 years ago, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. Okay, so where did When I think of the hood motivator, I think I'm hood and I'm a motivator.
Yeah, definitely.
So is that where that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm from the hood. But people didn't see that side of the story that knew me that was military. They thought my life started at the military, not knowing that, like I said, my mother died of AIDS. She was on crack cocaine. She lived on Skid Row. You know, I grew up gangbanging, seeing my sister through all these things. My nephew fighting 80 years and like gang, like we out here, Long Beach, Compton, and seeing everything. So I was like, you know what? If I come out, I have to be able to tell people where it started from, and that's where they got the hood motivator. But then I started getting those stages of people didn't want to use me because I had this.
Because you had the background?
Because I had the hood motivator, not knowing that after the hood motivator, I got a master's degree. I'm working on my doctorate. I graduate in 2027 with my doctorate in business. I got a PMP, project management certification. I'm very credentialed out.
Yeah.
But why you don't accept me? Oh, you got to take the hat off. You know what? There's a crowd for me, and that's what blew up from there. Me sticking to where I was. Yes.
I love that you just, look at you pouring into me yet again.
There we go.
I love that you just said that because, like I told you, I felt as though when I first was starting out, I had to do what everyone else was doing around me. And I just sat down. I'm like, God, I have to put you in the midst of everything that I do.
Right.
You are the reason why I show up every single day, just knowing that you are guiding me.
Right.
And I love that you just said that because it just another reminder to just stay true to myself.
Yeah.
And I constantly remind myself that whatever God has for me is for me.
Right.
The clients are going to be for me.
I
don't have to water myself down for anybody.
You don't.
And I love that you just said that.
Let me tell you something too, because I do life coaching, that don't ever put yourself in a corner and in a dark space to brighten up somebody else's day. It's a reason why you started now and you're doing it now. You took your test 2-3 years ago. You just now, it's your coming out party. This is the way God wanted it to be. Yeah. You don't have to, there's no other Toni Scott out there. I looked around. I've been around in this world a long time, right? I traveled all over country to country. There's not another you. So you have to be able to understand why you're in position to do what you're doing. Not only for yourself and them babies, they see everything.
Yeah.
They feel everything. Mm-hmm. They understand everything. Love on yourself more. Love on what you got going on and put that product out. Because I tell you, one deal is going to catapult you to the next deal, and just keep going. And don't get discouraged. And if you need somebody to lean on or somebody to call or help you life, just call me. You know what I'm saying? I'll pick up the phone or leave me a message, DM me, text me, whatever. Jared, I need help. I got you. Whatever I could do. And if I can't, I'll put you in position with the person that knows how to. Because I don't know a lot about real estate. But just like I hooked you up with these two gentlemen that wasn't here about real estate. Here you go. Y'all talk it out. Do what y'all got to do.
Which is crazy. This is our first real conversation, and you already plugged me in.
There you go.
You already plugged me.
I feel like that. I left the house, and I filled my cup up, and you know what I'm saying. I was going to get thirsty, but I put enough in there just in case I needed to pour into someone else, and that's how I am with life. Period. Like I will give you what I have, long as I have it too.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't give you anything if I don't have anything.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to be able to understand right now. Even with real estate, if you can't make that deal, give it to somebody that can make that deal. Because you at least you touch that deal, right?
Right.
They might not want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? They might want to, hey, I like it, but I don't need another. Okay, hey, as long as the company wins, it wins. But because somebody's going to come around and pass you the ball, you got to shoot it. You got to. Don't be scared to shoot it. Like you were scared to get on this podcast. You're natural. And I'm proud of you because you're sitting here and you're taking ownership and you owning it. And that's what it's supposed to do.
Thank you.
Because this interview is going to lead to another interview.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. But it's also the energy that you radiate.
Yeah.
You make it just comfortable.
Definitely.
Like, I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I've known you 10 years.
We have.
Like, this our first time really talking?
We have. We met each other in our previous life.
I was so nervous, like, oh my God. Yeah. I've never talked, like on camera, and people are gonna see this, and I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And
look at you.
We flowing.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think that when people meet each other and finally get into the presence, God will tell you right away. God tells me right away if I'm supposed to be involved with that person or not. Mm-hmm. Mentally, spiritually, physically, relationship, business. All right, bump me on the shoulder. JR, you got one time.
I love that because, baby,
you got one time.
God always shows me. But in the past, did I listen?
You was blinded.
I was like, God, No, God.
He look good. I'm good. God.
Are you sure, God? Like, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I would ask for the sign, and he would give me the sign. I'm like, I don't think that was a sign, God.
Yeah.
Like, me and my cousin, like, jokes about this because one time I asked for a sign. I kid you not, God sent me two. And I'm like, I don't think that was it. He sent me another one. I'm like, no, I just don't think God meant that.
Those are red flags.
I kid you not. It was like 4 signs. And we joke about it now because I'm no longer, in that situation. But we joke about it now like, girl, he sent you like 12,000 signs.
Yeah, and you don't want to listen.
I didn't want to listen.
And that's how business is, and that's how humans,
we
don't listen until something else happens, right? And that's how we get to where we at. But learn from that.
Yeah.
Because when you get in front of people that looks the same way as that person or exuberates that, I'm good.
Yep.
I done been in presence where I done heard the same rhetoric, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Nah, you're not trying to sell me no pyramid scheme of anything. Relationship, energy, physical, I got it.
You already learned a lesson.
I already learned. Yes. No. Okay. And listen, that might work for somebody else, and I'm happy if it works. Get them to the top, but I'm gonna take the stairs. Yeah. I'm gonna take somewhere else because I don't even like to be around certain people, and I isolate myself. A whole bunch of people think, oh, Jerry, you the hood motivator, you do it. And they see, no, I'm not home most of the 90% of the time. If you text me, I'm home or I'm traveling speaking. I don't have time, not because I don't want to be around. I'm very secretive, not because people, let me correct that. People think secretive is negative. It's not. I protect my energy. Okay. And I will. If you come around me and you think that you stalling or you doing all these things, I'll walk you right out of my house. Like, you got to go. You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
And that's
it took
how
me
I
a long time to get to that space where I just valued my energy and the people that I surrounded myself with.
Right. You got
How long did it take you to get there?
Man, so I started working on myself hard after my bankruptcy and being the complete person I can be, right? Jared, this is who you are. Don't change your image. And let me tell you one thing, and I tell all the people that try to get on my platform. Not only are you here because I'm inspired by you, you walk the walk, right? You're a real estate agent. People need to see you vibrant, pretty, in shape, and know how to handle your words.
Absolutely.
You cannot sell me any product in life if you're not selling yourself the product.
Yeah.
And I want to stop you from saying what you said to me on the mic, which I'm not going to say. You are your product. Don't worry about you owning this. You are that. God, it's just not your time right now. And when it comes, it's gonna come so big that you're gonna be like, God, like you probably just break down in tears because maybe you wanted something that you thought that God wanted something else for you. So stay the course. So you are the product. You're a walking billboard of Toni Scott, the realtor from Remax. Continue that because you're gonna walk by somebody in Publix or the mall and what do you do? Can I buy from you just because of who you are? So continue that.
I love that.
Because that's what you exuberate. That's what you push out. Yeah. It's okay being a mom that's single. Don't worry about that. Let society beat you up. You take that and you turn it to somewhere else because you walking with that crown. We know who you are.
Absolutely.
And I want to tell this to a lot of the women that are very in tune with who they are. Stop searching for your husband. Your husband will find you. And when he finds you, you will know it. And he ain't gonna say I'm your husband. He's just gonna be in that space. And he's gonna. It's like a planet. He's gonna revolve around that situation long enough for you to pay attention. And if you don't, that's on you now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I believe that with every fiber of my being.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
I'm happy that you have this space and this time. I want you to look into that camera right there and tell the young women that are aspiring to be real estate agents and everything that you got going on. How can you motivate them?
I would encourage every woman out there to just keep God at the center, to place him, make room for him, make him a priority. And with God at the center, there's nothing that you can't do, that you can do all things through him who strengthens you.
Right.
So just keep showing up, be consistent, and know that just trust in God's perfect timing.
Right. And I love that too, because I tell everybody all the time, faith is a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Faith is so small as a mustard seed. So you got to believe in something.
Absolutely.
And it's not seen. The evidence is not seen, but you believe in it so hard. That's what you're literally doing. And that's why I'm inspired to tell your story and make sure that you activate your gift. That's why I go around and tell you, I ain't going to ask you what you want to be in life. How are you activating your gift? Because you have it inside of you. And guess who's looking at that? Lil' mama. You don't know what she's about to do because you're doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what little man is about to do because mom is walking in her and activating her gift.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I care for you. I love you. Thank you for coming on. I know that you got a lot going on, but we're gonna keep pushing, keep working, and whatever I can do as a motivational speaker and a life coach to put you in position, you let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye.
It's a capsule.
They're mad 'cause he told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad 'cause he wanna be you. They're mad 'cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad 'cause you.
Okay, check it out. I hear the stuff they say about me, but they can't say I ever ran.
Become the best at your job, the best recruiter. It makes them so mad when they go home. I bet it does. And I can say it with a smile on my face because I was that soldier. You never gave me an opportunity to excel. I'm going to excel so hard that my name ring bells that you would have said, you're going to have to say, that was my soldier one day. That was. What happened then? Why are you here and he there? Because you tried to stunt my growth. So I would tell you guys, just continue to grow. You're going to upset a lot of the seniors, but the way I hear y'all division in y'all company, y'all brass love you guys. I talk to y'all brass, Turcotte, your commander, all of them, Turcotte and all of them, they love you guys. Y'all are leading the way. So long as you do numbers and stay within the regs, they're going to keep putting y'all in a position to win and just keep winning.